A month before our wedding, my boyfriend Noah brought his first love, Lily, home. Olivia, Lily's back for a visit, and I thought, a girl traveling alone, staying in a hotel isn't safe. She'll stay with us for a few days, you wouldn't mind, would you? Lily came over and linked her arm through mine. Noah, don't think Olivia is so petty. How could she possibly let me stay in a hotel by myself? I shook her hand off. So, you do know we're getting married? Then how can you two behave so shamelessly? Enraged, Noah grabbed Lily's hand and stormed out. Weeks later, he sent me a text message late at night. A deep, resonant voice replied, asking who he was. It took him a moment to respond. Who are you? Olivia is my fiancé. I get it, Olivia, you found someone to annoy me, didn't you? Let me tell you, your little tricks won't work on me. The guy on the other end of the phone quickly rummaged around, found the marriage certificate, and sent it to Noah. Bro, can you tell me how to read these 3 words on the cover? You say Olivia is your fiancé? Olivia and I are married, so doesn't that make me your fiancé? Noah, either she leaves today, or you leave with her. Seeing that I was giving him no respect, Noah's face showed a hint of annoyance. Olivia, Lily, and I are just friends now, don't overthink it. We're getting married soon. Olivia, I only came back to catch up with Noah. I'm not some heartless person, just because we broke up doesn't mean I've completely cut ties with him. Noah and I might not have love anymore, but we still have friendship. Besides, my fiancé and I are already engaged, and he hasn't said anything. You and Noah haven't even registered your marriage yet, why are you being so controlling? Is it really necessary? Lily crossed her arms, pouting. So, you do know we're getting married? Then how can you two behave so shamelessly? If you insist on keeping her here today, then let me tell you, the wedding is off. Olivia, who are you trying to threaten with marriage? Your wedding invitations have already gone out, haven't they? If you don't marry me, just think, who will be the one losing face? Don't come begging me when there's no groom at the wedding. Lily, let's go. Before leaving, Lily didn't forget to passive-aggressively remark, what era are we living in? Your thinking is so old-fashioned, not letting your fiancé have female friends. Women like you are so unreasonable. Noah held Lily's hand and stormed out. I hooked the door with my foot, slamming it shut. I wasn't just finding out about Noah contacting his ex-girlfriend now. Months ago, he'd go on business trips abroad every now and then. And the destination was always the same country, the UK. More than once, I wondered, who exactly was in the UK? It wasn't until my best friend Emma mentioned it that I found out. His first love, Lily, went to the UK for studies after graduating from college. I had seen Lily's photos on Noah's social media feed before. Emma had told me at the time that Lily resembled me a bit. But I hadn't really felt it myself. However, when Lily stood alive in front of me, I was still taken aback. Our expressions and aura were different, but at first glance, even I was a little confused by the resemblance. No wonder Noah had said he fell in love with me at first sight, and pursued me so intensely. The day he confessed his feelings to me, he showered me with sweet words. It turned out it was all just to cover up the fact that I was a stand-in for his beloved first love. Back then, I foolishly believed he was just a man deeply in love. Now, it seems I was the clown all along. No sooner had Lily and Noah left than Emma arrived at my house. I showed her the security camera footage of what had just happened. Emma was so furious she practically jumped. Come on, sis, I'm taking you out to ditch that jerk and celebrate your new beginning. Originally, the despicable pair had given me a headache, and all I wanted was to go back to bed and sleep. But I knew, Emma wouldn't let me off that easily. She insisted I put on makeup and change clothes, and take me out for drinks. She wanted me to meet that handsome, muscular boss, the one I'd heard so much about my ears were practically ringing. That's right, today was supposed to be her company's team-building event. Knowing I was heartbroken and hurt by a jerk, she didn't want me to stay home feeling down by myself. So, she just brought me straight to the party. Besides blowing off steam, she also had a little ulterior motive. She wanted to get a glimpse of her boss's abs. Unfortunately, their boss couldn't make it today due to work. But he was a great boss. Knowing everyone had quite a bit to drink, especially the female employees, he insisted on coming to drive them home himself. Emma said it was their boss's routine to make sure employees got home safely after a team-building event. Just as I was wondering how such a good boss could exist, a well-built man in a dark blue suit pushed the door open and entered. Everyone swarmed him, cheering for their boss's arrival. From my vantage point, I could only see his long legs. I was a bit dazed from drinking, and could barely stand up. So I retreated to a corner, until Emma led him over. Olivia, let me introduce you. This is our boss, Ethan. Who? Ethan? Is that name really that common? I looked up, and my gaze met his eyes, shadowed by long lashes. Boss, let me introduce you. This is my best friend, Olivia. The moment she said that, I was even more certain of his identity. He was Ethan, my first love from high school. You two don't know each other, do you? Emma asked, disbelieving. More than just know each other, we're quite familiar, Ethan said with a cold laugh. I felt a strange flush of shame. I quickly lowered my head, but couldn't warn my ears in time. The pulsing blood from my heart had already stained my earlobes bright red. Emma looked at me with a puzzled expression. How could she not know something was off with me? With the alcohol getting to her head, she became more blunt. Olivia, why are you blushing? I haven't even introduced his abs yet. Ethan took half a step closer to me. Though it wasn't obvious, that distance felt very sensitive to me. What? We just reunited, and you already want to see my abs? I admit, at that moment, I really wanted to dig a big hole and throw them all in. The room was cold, and I sobered up a bit. I couldn't help but shiver from the cold. Ethan didn't press my discomfort too much. He simply took off his suit jacket and tossed it onto my lap. Hold this for me. Then he turned and went back to the group, joining them in a game of dice. I couldn't help but steal glances at him through the crowd. Beneath his semi-transparent white shirt, the definition of his abs was faintly visible. As for his face, innocence and boyishness were replaced by a profound depth. In every gesture, he remained calm and composed, with an aura as cool and aloof as rain. My phone vibrated. It was a text message from Noah. A photo, his shirtless torso. Scrawny like a starved dog, resembling a monkey. It was obvious it was Lily, using his phone, who sent it to me. I secretly took a half-body picture of Ethan and sent it back to Noah. Life's too short, eat well. Shoving any old garbage in your mouth will only harm you. Late at night, the world felt hazy. Ethan asked another colleague to drive the drunk ones home. As he helped me into the passenger seat, then got into the driver's seat and started the engine, I realized he hadn't touched a drop of alcohol all night. Olivia, are you getting married? The moment Ethan entered, he saw the wedding photo framed on the table. I grabbed the photo frame and tossed it into the nearby trash can. I'm not marrying a dog. I subconsciously kicked the armchair next to me. Unexpectedly, my heel slipped, and I stumbled right into Ethan's arms. He held me steadily to prevent me from falling. What abo? You tee me? Ethan asked. What? I was a little confused by his words. Am I a human or a dog? My face flushed bright red, and I quickly pulled away from him. Hey, you just threw up on my shirt. I glanced at his chest. Sure enough, there was a faint stain of alcohol. It must have happened when he was helping me earlier. I felt a wave of dizziness, and accidentally burped up some alcohol onto his shirt. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, I said awkwardly. If apologies worked, what would we need police for in this world? Ethan's tone held a hint of cynicism, a half-smile playing on his lips, making him impossible to read. So what do you want? I asked, feeling uneasy and unsure. Take out your phone. What? I didn't react immediately, staring at him blankly. Let's exchange contact info so you can pay me back. Oh, so he just wanted me to pay for it. I breathed a sigh of relief, but still felt a bit nervous. I quickly pulled my phone out of my bag, my fingers trembling slightly. After unlocking it, I subconsciously angled the screen towards him, giving him a direct view of it from his perspective. Only then did I realize, the screen was still on my chat with Noah, and there was that obvious half-body photo of Ethan I'd secretly taken. I quickly swiped it away. When I saw that mischievous smirk on Ethan's face, I knew it was too late. Ethan added me to his contacts. As he left, he didn't forget to wave his phone at me. So, you ate and drank quite well tonight. I'm relieved then. I covered my face in shame. I literally wanted to move to another planet. The next day, my phone suddenly wouldn't stop ringing with notifications. Tapping on my phone, I saw a strange group chat. The group chat was named Yue. The messages in the group chat were already 99 plus. Lily, I've sent the photos you took with Noah last night to the group. Look, Noah and Lily really are a match made in heaven, a perfect couple, so shippable. If hadn't been forced by her family to study abroad. Back then, Noah and Lily would probably have kids old enough to run errands by now. You guys shouldn't talk like that. Noah and Olivia are getting married soon. I only see Noah as an older brother. Brother? From what I saw last night, when you two were together, there was nothing but romance, no sibling affection at all. Reading through these chat logs, I was absolutely fuming. I saw that Lily was the group owner. I instantly realized what was going on. I swiped through the photos one by one. In several of them, Noah's eyes were fixed on Lily's profile, brimming with tender affection, overflowing with deep emotion, full of unspoken love. Most importantly, I had never seen him look at me with such a gaze. Sure enough, his first love was still the brightest star in his world. I originally didn't plan to engage with them. But then Lily actually tagged me. Olivia, don't be mad. I created the group so they could upload the photos they took last night. I figured you and Noah are getting married soon, so to avoid any misunderstandings, I added you. They're all just joking around, don't take it too seriously. I chuckled humorlessly. You love adding people to groups so much, why don't you add your mother to avoid misunderstandings? I couldn't be bothered to argue with them like a child. After saying that, I decisively left the group. Wasting even one more second on trash would be a disrespect to the beautiful world outside my window. I stretched, planning to get up and get ready. My phone inexplicably chimed again. I thought it was Lily, relentlessly pursuing me. I rolled up my sleeves, ready to confront her head-on. But it was a message from Ethan. Willow Park today. You owe me. Remembering the awkwardness from last night, I buried myself under the covers for a while before I was willing to face reality. Since the meeting spot was at the park, I wore a simple tracksuit and a neat ponytail. Just as I was about to leave, I ran into Noah coming home. Why are you back? I asked coldly. A few of his buddies were trailing behind him. Olivia, I'm back to pack my suitcase, Noah said, looking at me expressionlessly, his voice as cold as ice. I'm going to the UK with Lily for a while. I'm here today to formally inform you that our wedding is cancelled. I found Noah's words utterly perplexing. What does that mean? It means I'm dumping you. Then feel free, I said slowly. Please pack up cleanly and thoroughly. Don't leave anything behind. I don't want to see you again. Noah suddenly sneered at me a few times. Olivia, even now, you're still playing tough? Do you really need to lose me completely to understand what regret means? Don't blame me for being heartless. If you humbly apologize to me today, maybe I'll consider staying with you for a few more days before I leave. It would be my way of putting a proper end to this relationship. My heart sank, and a strong wave of disgust washed over me. No, thank you. I have a phobia of germs, I don't touch anything dirty. I'm heading out, so I won't entertain you all. Please close the door behind you once you've finished packing your things. With that, I strode towards the door. Noah called out to stop me. Olivia, if you dare to step out that door today, we're completely over. I'll give you a bit more time to think it through. His voice held a hint of threat. You're not worth my time to consider, I said, without looking back, my tone calm and firm. Oh, and please tell Lily she doesn't need to be so hostile towards me anymore. I'm doing quite well now. With that, I resolutely opened the door and walked out. From behind the door, I heard an angry thud. Honestly, I had never seen Noah lose his temper so badly. Was it resentment? Or unwillingness to let go? The answer no longer mattered to me. I only heard his buddies behind him say, Noah, did Olivia just leave like that? She's not really giving up on you, is she? Olivia's face was completely calm, it didn't look like SH. He was just throwing a fit at you, Noah. Didn't you say Olivia loved you so much she couldn't live without you? That if she knew you were leaving, she'd cling to you and stop at nothing to make you stay? Noah, I think you've gone too far this time. Olivia is genuinely angry. If you don't go after her now, you'll really lose her for good. She'll come back and beg me. Without a groom at the wedding, she won't be able to handle the aftermath. Who gave Noah that confidence? I let out a soft laugh. I got on the bicycle by the door and headed towards Willow Park. Having gotten rid of that jerk, I felt more than 10 times lighter. I really had Lily to thank for letting me see the true colors of that jerk before the wedding. Ruining my present was fine, but ruining my entire life? That would be a whole different story. Ethan was sitting on a bench. His fingers were long, his knuckles defined. He exuded a languid air, yet remained cool and aloof. He was wearing casual clothes. The definition of his abs was particularly visible beneath his fitted plain t-shirt. You're here? Sit. He had a powerful aura that made anyone sitting beside him feel somewhat unnerved. The bench was wide, but I only occupied about a third of it. Right, you said I owe you. How much was your shirt? I'll Venmo you now. Bringing up money right when we met, I admit it was a bit abrupt. Or I could just buy you an identical new one. When did I say you had to pay me back? I opened my phone and reread the message he'd sent. The message you just sent me, did you forget? See for yourself. Oh, my fingers were moving too fast, I made a typo. Which word was wrong? I glanced at my phone. There were only a few words in total, And I could see at a glance that only one word could have a homophone, the character pay. Accompany me? My face instantly flushed completely. I didn't know if it was the blood rushing to my head, but my mind went blank. I didn't know what to say next. You came looking for me last night? Was it on purpose? What, still have feelings for me? No, I didn't know Emma's boss was you. So, you're really into handsome guys with abs now? Ethan leaned his face closer. Why are you blushing? You don't still like me, do you? Been thinking about me all these years? Not a single one of those questions could be easily answered. But I still had to answer. I really haven't. But the more I blushed, the more Ethan pressed. Olivia, you get nervous when you lie. And when you get nervous, you blush. You look exactly like you did back then, when you graduated and said you didn't love me anymore. I stared at a falling leaf drifting in front of me. The swirling leaf took my thoughts back to the big tree at our high school. Ethan used to sit behind me in high school. He used every method he could to pursue me for 3 years, gradually warming my cold heart. It wasn't that I didn't love him, it was just that our school was very strict about dating during high school back then. Forget about dating, even if a boy and a girl stood a little too close while chatting, they'd be thoroughly scrutinized by the homeroom teacher as prime suspects. Once discovered, it meant expulsion, with no room for discussion. Even students who had previously ranked in the top 3 in our grade didn't receive any extra leniency for their academic performance. Ethan's grades were consistently among the best in our school. He could have chosen Eastwood University or Westfield University, whichever he wanted. I repeatedly turned down his confessions because I didn't want him to sacrifice his bright future for me. A few months before the college entrance exams, Ethan confessed his feelings to me again. At the time, I was overwhelmed by stress and foolishly agreed. He was incredibly happy. But with the college entrance exams approaching, he never disturbed me. It was only later that I heard his closest friend tell me that Ethan was planning to apply to the same university said.I as me. I panicked. There was a huge gap between my grades and Ethan's. I really wasn't worth such a huge sacrifice from him. But I knew Ethan was as stubborn as a mule. Once he made up his mind, not even a team of horses could pull him back. I could only deliberately act intimately with another male classmate. When got jealous and lashed out at me, I told him that heartless lie, that I had never actually loved him. After graduation, Ethan successfully went to Eastwood University. I never imagined, though, that years later, I would reunite with my teenage love at Emma's team building event. You knew I was lying back then? Olivia, I only looked away from you for a short while. How did you end up getting married? Ethan furrowed his brow at me. What do you mean by that? I knew you didn't want me to stay in Astoria for love, so I went to Eastwood University as you wished. I didn't want a long-distance relationship with you. I planned to come back and confess my feelings to you again right after college graduation. But just as I was about to return, I got the news that you were getting married. What, were you in such a hurry? Noah and I were college classmates. If I wanted to tell him, the reason Noah and I got together so quickly was because in Noah's eyes and expressions, I could find a slight resemblance to Ethan. Just a slight resemblance, but it was enough to make me completely fall for him back then. After graduating from college, I hadn't originally intended to get married so early. It was just that Noah's mother was pressuring us to get married. In the years we'd been together, he hadn't been exceptionally good to me, nor was he terrible. I had everything others had. But I always felt like something was missing in our relationship. Noah always said I was distant and aloof, unable to open up even to him. Yet, when Ethan appeared before me, I wanted to pour out all my feelings. After college graduation, he proposed to me, and I accepted. If hadn't shown up, we would have been married in front of our friends and family sometime soon. Olivia, you owe me. Ethan's gritted words suddenly pulled me back from my memories. Then tell me how much. You made me wait all these years. Repay me with Olivia. Okay, I'll repay you. Ethan pulled me into his arms. My tears dampened his clothes. Right on the spot where the wine stain had been last night. Ethan had hugged me once in high school. Back then, I'd done poorly on an exam. I was in an extremely bad mood. I even felt like life had lost all hope. I was crouched by the school tree, crying uncontrollably. Ethan held me, gently patting my back. He kept telling me everything would be okay. I didn't know if it was his embrace or his words, but there was a special power in them. That night, I truly slept soundly. I could even stop thinking about any bad things that might happen in the future. Ethan leaned closer and closer to my face. Olivia, can you be my girlfriend now? I kissed his furrowed brow. His lips gently brushed from the tip of my nose to the corner of my mouth. The void that had been missing in my heart for years was now filled to the greatest extent. Now, I truly hoped Noah and Lily would go abroad and live happily ever after together, and never disturb the happy life Ethan and I would share. It was only after clearly seeing Ethan's face that I realized Noah bore no resemblance to him at all. When's the wedding? What wedding? I asked, confused. You can't just take advantage of me and not be responsible. Just give me a title, then you can take advantage of me whenever you want. Ethan and I quickly registered our marriage. With the wedding approaching, he didn't slack off at all. He put aside his work, accompanying me every day to try on wedding dresses, take wedding photos, event company, and discuss the wedding agenda with the wedding venue. Compared to Noah, who had been a completely hands-off fiancé, Ethan was simply overflowing with love. Even recently complained to me, saying that the boss wasn't coming to the company every day, and the company was on the verge of collapse. It wasn't that I hadn't tried to persuade Ethan, telling him to focus on his work. I was unemployed and had plenty of time. Besides, I had handled many of the previous arrangements. Doing it alone wouldn't be a big problem. Ethan lightly tapped my head. He told me not to be so absorbed in love. A wedding is for two people, and so is love. Noah had been posting frequently on his social media feed lately. All were intimate photos with Lily. There were also many videos of them kissing by the sea. The captions all had the same heart emoji. I didn't delete them, I just watched them as a joke. Leaning against my phone, I accidentally liked a post. A few minutes later, Noah sent me a voice message. Olivia, the wedding is about to start. Your family must be in chaos right now, right? After all, you're a woman, and if word gets out that your fiancé dumped you right before the wedding, your reputation might be ruined. If you beg me now and put me in a good mood, maybe in a few days I'll even buy plane tickets for Lily and me to return to the States and marry you. I didn't know when Ethan had finished showering and came out. He suddenly appeared behind me. He snatched my phone. And in a deep, resonant voice, he spoke into the phone, Bro, who are you? You're a guy, and if word gets out that you cheated with your first love and got dumped by your fiancé, won't your reputation be ruined? How strange. Everyone has a reputation, right? Or do you not have one? Oh, you're definitely not human. I couldn't help but let out a snicker. Ethan, quick as a flash, even recorded my laughter. Whether my wife humors you or not, I don't know, and it's none of my business. But you just gave me an opportunity to make my wife very happy. I never expected such thoughtful effort from you. Thanks, bro. And please, whatever you do, don't come back. W. You already have two grooms. Oh, wait, my wife is popular with many, that's good. As for me, I can't be on the same stage as you, it would ruin my reputation. Bro, just bear with it. You can return to the States after we get married. I had no idea why Noah was so foolish as to provoke Ethan. Ethan's tongue was indeed sharp and scathing. Noah probably didn't react for a while. Ethan waited for his response for a bit, but received none. He commented that Noah looked like a decent person, but his mental fortitude was weaker than his own dog's. After a pause, Noah finally sent a reply to my phone. Who are you? Olivia is my fiancée. How did she become your wife? A while later, oh, I get it. Olivia, you found someone to annoy me, didn't you? Let me tell you, your little tricks won't work on me. Ethan quickly rummaged around, found the marriage certificate, and sent it to Noah. Bro, can you tell me how to read these 3 words on the cover? You say Olivia is your fiancée? Olivia and I are married, so doesn't that make me your fiancé? Then, he took his own phone and sent me a few photos of us from high school. He forwarded them to Noah, adding 2 heart emojis. After all that, Ethan ruffled my hair and asked, by the way, where do you want to go for our honeymoon? Ethan just wanted me to name the place. I didn't have to worry about anything else. He said he'd arrange everything for me. Noah called me several times in a row, but I didn't answer. Ethan said Noah was no match for him. If he made him so angry that he spit blood, he'd have to donate blood to him later. There was no real need for that. As for why he didn't delete or block him, Ethan knew that even if he did, Noah would still find all sorts of ways to contact me. So he just kept his WhatsApp contact, to torment him until he was utterly convinced and sick of the sight of me. Though it was a joke, I really was comforted by Ethan. I hadn't wanted to marry Ethan on the same day, or even in the same wedding VE. Knew, as Noah's cancelled wedding. I felt it would be unfair to Ethan. My relatives were all back in my hometown. They rarely saw Noah. Even if the groom was replaced, they wouldn't actually notice. Although this gap was filled, I still felt it was unfair to the person I truly loved. More than once, I wanted to publicly announce that my wedding with Noah was cancelled. As for my wedding with Ethan, we could choose another date and hold it another day. But absolutely refused. I knew he didn't want me to be too embarrassed. So he'd rather endure the slight himself. He told me, marriage is just a formality. What matters is who the two people on the stage are, whether they truly love each other. Only love can bring the stage to life. You've already put so much effort into the preparations, why not seize this opportunity to complete the wedding? I don't want my wife's hard-planned wedding to end up being dedicated to a jerk. He doesn't deserve it, I do. This isn't your fault at all. It's my fault for not insisting back then, and my fault for showing up too late. Honestly, I really couldn't argue with Ethan. Ever since he appeared, he took over all the wedding preparations. He said this wedding would be a joint effort for the two of us. Since had never bothered with it, then conveniently, this wedding had absolutely nothing to do with him. He told me not to feel awkward about it anymore. He even thanked Noah for giving him the chance to marry me so quickly, and to marry the only person he ever wanted to marry in his life. Noah had been contacting me frequently lately. Every time I heard a hoarse voice on the phone, I would discreetly hang up. Since then, I hadn't seen Lily on my social media feed again, but would often, late at night, send me cryptic messages. Olivia, I know you love me. You're just marrying someone else to make me angry, aren't you? I'm already preparing to return to the States. Can we talk properly? There must be some misunderstanding. You know how I've treated you all these years. How could you just forget our years of history? Lily and I really are just friends. If you don't want her staying at home, then I promise you, I'll cut her out of my life forever. I'm really looking forward to our wedding day. You'll definitely be the most beautiful bride. It was just that I went to bed early, and happened to be a night owl, so he saw these messages before I did. Dude, are you writing a novel here? Are you the domineering CEO, or the devoted second lead? No, you're the jerk in it, aren't you? A jerk trying to win back his wife often faces severe consequences. You won't be tortured to death, people will just curse you to death. The next day, seeing the messages, I was always amused by Ethan's replies. I thought, Noah, at this point, why bother humiliating yourself further? Before the wedding began, Ethan started checking people in. Perhaps because Noah hadn't informed his relatives in time that the wedding was cancelled. Because he had previously held on to the fantasy that he would certainly be the groom. By the time he truly accepted that he wouldn't be the groom, it was too late to properly notify everyone. As a result, many of Noah's relatives still showed up for the wedding. Ethan, however, cheerfully went about sending people away. Excuse me, are you a relative of Noah? This is Ethan and Olivia's wedding. The former groom was too ugly and got dumped by the bride. Please leave immediately. You can collect your wedding gift money at the front desk. This made Noah's relatives look utterly bewildered. Ethan was afraid people wouldn't believe him, so he showed them the marriage certificate one by one. But since the groom really wasn't Noah, they couldn't really argue. Those whose names were called could only quietly leave. If word got out like this, Noah's family would surely lose all face. Ethan then bragged to me, I won't say who's truly losing face. Emma stood by, smiling knowingly. That's just how my OSS is. Halfway through the wedding ceremony, I never would have imagined Noah would come to crash the wedding. When he pushed open the wedding venue doors, everyone present turned their gazes to him in unison. He must have just gotten off the plane. Still carrying my suitcase. Olivia, I'm here. Faced with this sudden, unexpected turn of events, even the MC was visibly shaken. In his professional career, he probably never truly anticipated someone actually trying to crash a wedding. This? Ethan first squeezed my hand, giving me a resolute look with a faint smile. I knew what he wanted to say. He wanted me not to be afraid, that no matter what happened, he would be there by my side. This instantly filled me with courage. In this crucial moment, I had to face the person who once hurt me. I couldn't let Ethan bear all of this alone. Ethan snatched the microphone from the MC's hand. You all must be startled, right? No worries. I've had some snacks and refreshments prepared at your tables. If anyone needs anything, feel free to enjoy them while you watch. I promise you're about to witness a spectacular show. You can begin, my fiancé. A commotion erupted in the audience. Many people began whispering to each other, heads bowed. Olivia, I should be the one standing there. It's my fault, I was late. You can hit me, you can curse at me, but please don't abandon me, okay? Noah walked towards me, step by step. With each step, another tear streak appeared on his face. I know you still love me, so please, let's stop this charade, okay? Will you come with me? Didn't you once tell me you wanted a perfect wedding? We can start over. As was about to reach me, I waved my hand at him, signaling him to stop. Noah, I never loved you. Olivia, isn't it enough that I'm admitting my mistake to you? Please, don't be angry with me. Marrying just anyone will ruin your life. With a thud, Noah suddenly knelt down below the stage. If you don't agree to get back there with me, I'll stay on my knees indefinitely. Buddy, that's rough on your knees then. We'll try to keep things moving quickly. Ethan, standing in front of me, spoke to Noah. This remark drew a burst of laughter from the entire room. Noah, however, nervously glanced around and lowered his head in shame. Before that situation could settle, Lily burst in from the other side. She struggled to pull Noah away. Noah, this woman isn't worth this much trouble for you. Let's go. But simply pushed her away. Why are you still following me? Didn't I tell you to get lost? If you hadn't interfered, I would be the one standing on this stage right now. Did you think I couldn't see through your manipulative tactics? You dumped me back then because I didn't have money for overseas studies, and now that my career is successful, you're back trying to cling to me? I was just messing around with you. Did you really think your place could compare to Olivia's? Lily was publicly brought to tears by Noah's scolding, and I both knew clearly, this was just one of her ploys to appear weak, act pitiful, and gain sympathy. After putting in so much effort to snatch Noah away from me, there was no way now she would give up just because of a few angry words from Noah. Noah, I think you've misunderstood me. I didn't realize my presence would affect your relationship with Olivia. Lily even went so far as to kneel down and plead with me on Noah's behalf. Olivia, Noah truly loves you. Please, get back together with him. This is all my fault. You can hate me all you want, just don't blame Noah. How absolutely thrilling. Noah, so you weren't blind after all, you could see Lily was a manipulative woman. And, you're not brain dead either, you knew Noah loved me? Then you two despicable pair truly are a perfect match, you should be tied together for life. So, Mr. MC, why don't you preside over their wedding first? How about everyone here serves as their witnesses? Ethan Sudnall. Why chimed in with this remark, which made the entire audience burst into laughter. I think everyone now understood perfectly well what kind of situation this person, claiming love to crash a wedding, was truly in. Noah, seeing that his wedding crashing attempt had failed, and he had become a laughingstock to everyone, found it all pointless. He unleashed all his anger onto Lily, half pushing and half dragging her out of the wedding venue's main entrance. Ethan even thoughtfully waved at them, saying, "Good riddance." Ultimately, I have to thank today's wedding crashing drama. As you've all witnessed, Olivia and I are both resolute in choosing each other. We are deeply in love, and nothing, no one, can sway our decision. A wave of warm applause swept through the hall. The wedding proceeded as planned, though the MC was a bit more nervous after the recent commotion. As I recited my wedding vows to Ethan, I became even more aware of how much I truly loved the man standing before me. I also realized the deep love he had harbored for me for years. Suddenly, for a moment, I was grateful for Lily's appearance. What she interrupted wasn't my love story, but merely a destined tragic entanglement. After the wedding, Ethan and I went abroad for our honeymoon. According to our plans, we wouldn't return to the States for at least 10 or 8 years. At the airport, I suddenly saw a fleeting glimpse of Noah. I thought I was just overtired lately and hallucinating, until Ethan went to get me some coffee, and Noah suddenly appeared before me. His eyes were hollow, his face covered in stubble, a stark contrast to the vibrant young man in the photos with Lily earlier, full of youthful vigor. For a moment, I even thought I was mistaken, seeing things. Until he spoke, calling my name, "Olivia, am I truly going to lose you forever? There's no such thing as losing someone we never truly met. How can you just throw away all those years we had? And how can you just pick up trash that's been discarded for years? When are you coming back? It used to be you waiting for me, now let me wait for you, okay? I'll wait no matter how long it takes. Suit yourself. Olivia, please don't leave. I truly can't live without you. I'll do anything for compensation, how am I supposed to live without you?" Ethan suddenly popped up beside me, picking up my nearby suitcase with one hand. I knew we needed to board, and I didn't want to get tangled up with this persistent jerk any longer. I turned to leave. Who knew Ethan's mouth, even at the very end, wasn't going to let Noah off the hook? You don't know how to live, huh? Then maybe you shouldn't bother. I couldn't help but let out a snicker. Ethan put his hand on my shoulder, and as we turned to walk away, I whispered into his ear, "Keep those comments coming." You didn't let him off the hook either. The plane gradually lifted off the ground, soaring into the sky. Watching the scattered specks on the ground below, I suddenly felt that everything from the past was insignificant. The only thing worth cherishing was Ethan, like a child, resting his head on my shoulder, even muttering "I love you" in his sleep. It was then that I truly felt my life had embarked on a brand new journey. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your perspectives, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.